You sit in a dark theater watching Wolverine heal or Deadpool snap his own neck. You smile, thinking it's just Hollywood fiction. It isn't. Right now, there are real people walking the streets with bones that physically cannot break. People whose pain receptors are permanently switched off. People with brains that record every second like a supercomputer. They exist. But to carry just one of these genes, the odds aren't 1 in a million, not 1 in a billion. To possess all 5 in a single body, the probability is 1 in trillions of trillions. I used to sit in those same dark theaters, eating popcorn, looking down at my own normal, soft, breakable body and secretly wishing I had those powers. But if you knew this secret, you would never wish for them again. Evolution intentionally designed you to be exactly this fragile, to save you from a truly horrifying death. This is not a celebration of genetic marvels. I am going to show you why Mother Nature looked at these real-life superheroes and ruthlessly hunted them down as evolutionary failures. Let's start with invincibility. Right now, in Connecticut, there's a family walking around with a rare genetic mutation known as LRP5. Their bone density is so extreme it defies normal human biology. They effectively have diamond bones. Put them in a catastrophic car crash, the kind of impact that would easily crush a normal human ribcage into powder, and they will walk out of the twisted metal without a single fractured finger. Then there is the FAAH-OUT mutation. Consider the thoroughly documented medical case of a woman named Jo Cameron in Scotland. A glitch in her DNA completely wiped out her physical pain receptors and her capacity for anxiety. She can break a limb, endure childbirth, or undergo major surgical procedures without a single drop of anesthesia. And she will just smile. Her biological alarm system is permanently silenced. Or look at the DEC2 gene, the short sleepers. While you are forced to spend a third of your life lying paralyzed in bed just to survive, people with this mutation only need 4 hours of sleep. 4 hours for their brain to achieve complete, perfect cellular repair. They get an extra 4 hours of life every single day, completely free of fatigue. It sounds like a dream. Or is it? When mainstream science channels and popular magazines cover these people, they always spin the exact same narrative. They call these mutations the next step in human evolution. They call them the glorious future of our species. They are completely wrong. In the brutal, unforgiving laboratory of the natural world, these were never superpowers. They were failed beta tests. The price of a superpower is death. Take the family with the diamond bones. Why didn't that incredible shield spread across the human race? Because bones that dense leave almost no hollow space inside for bone marrow. Without enough marrow, your body cannot produce the heavy army of red blood cells needed to fight off ancient diseases. And worse, that much bone weighs you down. Fall into deep water and a body like that just sinks, no floating. And what about the miracle of feeling no pain? If being immune to physical suffering is such a massive advantage, why didn't the FAAH-OUT gene conquer the world? Because the ancient world was a meat grinder, and pain was the only map to survival. Without the sharp sting of pain, a toddler with that mutation would literally chew their own tongue to shreds while teething. An ancient hunter would jump off a rocky ridge, shatter a shin bone, feel absolutely nothing, and just keep running on a broken leg. The bone would grind into the muscle, the skin would tear, the dirt would get in. They wouldn't even know they were destroying themselves until the infection killed them. They died long before they could ever pass that superpower on to a child. This is the terrifying truth that flips everything you know about biology. Pain is not your enemy. Fragility is not a design flaw. That soft, vulnerable, easily damaged body you live in is not a weakness. It is a highly engineered, deeply perfected early warning system. Pain, fear, and exhaustion are the ultimate bodyguards of life. They are the exact reasons your ancestors survived the wild. Nature didn't make a mistake with you. She looked at the superheroes, realized their powers were practically a death sentence in the real world, and she quietly purged them from the gene pool. So the next time you accidentally slice your finger in the kitchen and feel that sharp, sudden sting of pain,
or when your eyes grow heavy and exhausted after an 8-hour shift, I want you to just smile. That is the sound of a flawless survival mechanism working exactly as it should. You are the finely tuned masterpiece of human evolution, safely stripped of every fatal error. It turns out being a completely normal, fragile person is the greatest privilege nature could ever give you. But there is one predator who disagrees with nature. Nature spent millions of years carefully eliminating these extreme traits from our bloodlines. But look around you. Look at the modern world we have built. Look at the hustle culture. Look at the massive corporate structures. Look at the endless scrolling feeds of social media. What are they actually demanding of you every single day? They tell you that sleeping 8 hours is for the weak. They want you to work 16-hour shifts, grind through the night, take a 4-hour nap, and wake up perfectly energized to do it all again. They are literally demanding the DEC2 mutation. They throw impossible KPIs at you. They drown you in toxic management, relentless criticism, and the crushing pressure to always be on. And they expect you to absorb all of it without ever crying, without ever panicking, without a single drop of anxiety. They are demanding the FAAH-OUT mutation. They flood your retinas with thousands of pieces of content, emails, messages, and breaking news every single hour. They expect you to process, organize, and recall an infinite waterfall of data without missing a beat. They are demanding hyperthymesia. Think about the motivational speakers you listen to. Think about the job descriptions you apply for. Modern society does not want a normal, healthy human being. It is treating you as if you are morally obligated to be a genetic mutant. It is actively punishing you for being exactly what evolution designed you to be. They are demanding traits that went extinct. This is the brutal, dark collision between your biology and your reality, and it explains the deepest pain you are feeling right now. When you are sitting in your car staring blankly at the steering wheel, completely dreading walking into your office, when you are staring at a glowing computer screen at midnight and you just want to put your head down and cry, when your brain fog becomes so thick that you cannot even remember what you read 5 minutes ago. What do you tell yourself in those moments? You tell yourself that you are falling behind. You think you are weak. You think you are inadequate. You think your brain is broken. It isn't. That overwhelming burnout, that crippling brain fog, that is the sound of a 2 million-year-old genetic code screaming at you. It's desperately trying to save your life. Your exhaustion is not a character flaw. It's a violent, highly evolved biological defense mechanism. It's your body pulling the emergency brake because you are grinding its physical limits into dust. And that deep, heavy psychological pain, the depression and anxiety that weigh on your chest, it's doing the exact same job as the physical pain receptors that stopped your ancestors from walking on a shattered leg. In the ancient world, physical pain kept you from walking off a cliff. In the modern world, psychological pain is flashing a blinding red light warning you that the environment you're sitting in is fundamentally toxic. It's substituting for the physical pain you aren't allowed to feel. It's begging you to pull your hand out of the fire. Now put the pieces together. What happens when you force a human brain to remember everything, feel no stress under crushing pressure, and run indefinitely on zero rest? You combine hyperthymesia, FAAH-OUT, and DEC2. What do you get? You do not get a superhero. You get the exact biological recipe for a total nervous system collapse. You get an organism that will literally work itself to death without ever realizing it's dying. Yet, that's exactly the toxic cocktail the modern world expects you to drink every single morning. Society is trying to force install 3 fatal genetic errors into your soft, normal biology. So the next time you feel like you're shutting down, the next time you simply cannot force yourself to send one more email or take one more meeting, understand this. You are not sick. You are not lazy. You are simply refusing to commit biological suicide. Your exhaustion is a sacred rebellion. You cannot change the modern corporate machine overnight, but starting today, you can use evolutionary science to draw an impenetrable boundary around yourself. You can fight back. First, you must exercise the evolutionary veto. Right now, when you hit a massive wall of brain fog or emotional exhaustion, what is your default reaction?
You chug another espresso. You grab an energy drink. You desperately try to chemically force your brain into mimicking the DEC2 or FAAH-OUT mutations. You try to drug yourself into being a superhero. Stop doing that. Start treating your fatigue as a hard biological benchmark, not a barrier to smash through. The next time your nervous system goes on strike, execute a tactical shutdown. Walk away from the screen, lie completely still, consume zero data, zero music, zero input for 20 straight minutes. You must honor the absolute limits of your survival biology. Second, you need to run a pain signal audit. Grab a pen and write down the single biggest psychological pain you are enduring right now. A toxic manager, a relentless, impossible target, a suffocating financial fear. Do not look at this anxiety as a personal failure. Look at it as an evolutionary stomachache. In the wild, if you swallow toxic berries, your body creates agonizing cramps to force you to stop eating them. Your modern burnout is doing the exact same thing. It is not telling you to build more resilience. It is not telling you to just push through the pain. It is violently demanding that you step away from the fire. Listen to the alarm. Make a concrete plan to reduce your exposure to that toxic environment. Do not ignore the bodyguard that kept your ancestors alive. The next time you sit in a dark theater, looking down at your own normal, soft, breakable body, look at your hands. They can be scratched, they can be broken, they feel agonizing pain, and the body carrying them demands 8 full hours of sleep. But those are the hands of the ultimate winner on Earth. Be proud that you are completely, beautifully normal. Tell me your story in the comments. Has your weakness ever saved you? Did quitting a toxic job, walking away in fear, or just collapsing from exhaustion actually rescue you from a worse disaster? Share that moment. You survived.